Right. So now I posted on the Facebook page about hope, because when we were in Orlando, Richard said he believed one of the reasons that Virginia Satir was so powerful and so good at what she did is that people turned up to see her completely broken down and devastated, and she gave them hope. So I put that post on Facebook, and it's caused an interesting stir. Some people don't like the word hope. Somebody said they needed to denominalize hope. And I said, well, that's good. When you denominalize a normalization, you then get someone's strategy, and that's always helpful, because then you'll know how they're doing what they're doing. And they asked, how do you give your clients hope? And when people come to see me, a lot of the time it's a bit like Princess Leia on Star Wars. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope. I mean, you know this, Steve. They turn up and they've got all these problems, and they'll tell you they've been and they've tried this and they've tried that and they've done all these different things, and they're still stuck in the problem state. And when that happens, you need to be able to get it so that they believe there's a way out. Because if you're dealing with somebody who's so tunnel visioned and stuck, make me do it, make me change. I've tried everything, it doesn't work. You have to do it for me. There needs to be that belief that it can happen first. And in this particular, I suppose it's semantics, I'm calling that hope. That's what I understood Richard to mean as hope. But of course, other people will look at hope and think it's something else.
Yeah, I saw the post. I did comment on it, and I was just, as you were talking, I was just flicking back through some of the other comments. I think that whole conversation about people showing up in a place of learned helplessness is an important one. Any of you that are doing any coaching or therapy work, especially, you're going to encounter that. Yeah, you're definitely going to encounter that, because maybe they've tried everything. How many times have you heard that? I've tried everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
And you go, everything? Yeah.
Yeah.
we can challenge that universal quantifier. Or amount of times I've been quoted gurus who people have seen.
Oh yeah.
And you go, okay, and you're still in that stuck state. And so because they've had those experiences, they've now built up the case file to almost like defend where they're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to recognize learned helplessness, meet it where it is, flip it around somehow, or create like a little crack in that belief structure. That's where I think hope is. There's an opportunity there to go. Yeah, we can do something different. Are you willing? And I think one of the best ways to do that, actually, I found, is getting people just a bit curious and a bit playful about it. Look, you're willing to try something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's too easy to get bogged down in the semantics of the word hope. Whereas what we're really looking to do is kind of just nudge people in the right direction of solutions, trying something else. Yeah, being open to play, being open to exploring, regardless of what you've done before.
Love play, because I usually say, okay, so let's have an experiment. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I start to play with the submodalities, and I get them changing a few things around. So they begin to realize, well, hang on a minute. No, that is different. That feels different. That looks different.
Yeah. And also, I think one of the things to remember, especially if those of you maybe new to therapy and new to coaching, and you will encounter this, you will meet someone who goes, I've seen everyone, I've tried everything else. And if you must have had this, Tina, where someone's turned up with a case file of all the of all the people they've seen and all the things that have never worked. Yeah. And you've got to get a little bit of compliance. You've got to get rapport with them really quickly. But I totally understand you tried everything. We're going to do something a bit different. You're up for that. and just kind of getting that little bit of shift. That's so important because you don't know where it's going to go. But I can assure anyone watching this that it doesn't matter who they've seen, what they've done. Even if you do the same thing as someone else has done, you're going to be doing it your own way. You know,
They
your
won't
swish
recognise it.
pattern will be a different swish pattern to somebody else's. Yeah.
So
They won't recognize it.
somebody turned up and they said, I've done CBT, I've been psychotherapy, I've had counselling, I've had X amount of hypnotherapists, I've been to all these different NELPers, I've been to coaches, blah, blah, everything. Nothing works. And I don't want you to do that fast phobia cure on me because it's rubbish and it doesn't work. What did I do with them? Fast phobia cure.
I wonder. Yeah.
And they said, that was brilliant. What was that?
What was it?
Went,
yeah, absolutely.
You don't really need to know
It was
that.
the really fast phobia cure.
You don't need to know that. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the conversation about the semantics around the word hope is not necessary. Yeah, it's just giving people a bit of a nudge, some direction away from learned helplessness. And learned helplessness is very common, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how many people, I've said this so many times on these Yahoo ahas, Facebook ahas, that I don't see many people for therapy anymore. But certainly when I did, probably about 20% of people came in a place of been there, done that, tried everything, almost like a challenge. They come in to defend their learned helplessness. Dealing with that is an essential skill.
Somebody came to see me 3 weeks ago. I just got back from the States and she had an issue with drinking. She said she has 2 or 3 gin dry martinis before dinner, and then her and her husband drink a bottle or 2 of wine over dinner every night. And she can't not have a drink. Do I think she's an alcoholic? And we had a conversation. She cried when I said that it's possible that she is, but I'm not a mind reader, so I don't know without more information. And at the end of it, she was saying to me, before we did the trance, she said, I'm really scared that I'm not going to be able to stop drinking. She bounced in here today for her follow-up session. I haven't had a drink since I've seen you, and I don't want one. So we started off with her afraid that she was going to lose everything, that her husband was going to boot her out because he was fed up with her getting drunk and making a fool of herself, and she was so scared. And today she's just bouncing and so happy. And she started off with that learned helplessness. And I gave her something else.
Yeah. There's also another approach, but you've got to be careful with this, which is to take it the other direction. Like with the learned helplessness, it is a little bit push them further into it. So you get the resistance back. Yeah. Like give up hope. I tell you what, just give up hope. Stay as you are for the rest of your life, if that's what you want to do, or let's experiment, let's play. So you've got to know, guys, how to push them into it, and then when to bring them and go, okay, here we go in the other direction. Yeah, that can be very effective.
You could be provocative and say, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Maybe, you just don't deserve hope.
Yeah, do you know the story of hope in Pandora's box? I can't remember how this worked. Stephen Fry in his book Mythos was talking about it. That I think hope was put in there by Zeus to tempt humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was to make us feel bad, because if hope wasn't there, we'd be despairing. Right? So hope isn't a good thing. Right? It was to make humans suffer. Yeah. So sometimes take hope away. Go, absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what? You could be a hopeless case. Why don't you just stay like this and wallow like this for the rest of your life? Yeah. However, I'm suspecting that as you contacted me, you kind of really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we just explore? You up for exploring, trying something different? If you're up for doing that, then come along. Let's play.